Points dropped tonight by Liverpool in the Premier League. 2-2 away at Aston Villa, and the door still left slightly ajar for Arsenal. But can the Gunners pounce through it? And a big night at the Santiago Bernabeu. 3-1 to Real Madrid. A hat-trick from Kylian Mbappe, and it really was a pathetic end to Manchester City's Champions League season. Hit the like button and subscribe. Join us now for the Full Fan Highlight Show, sponsored by our friends at Stocks FC. Go! Welcome back to the Full Fan Highlight Show. Hit like buttons. Make sure you're all subscribing. Get the bell notification button hit as well. A brilliant night of football. Wonderful entertainment. Lots of goals, mistakes, problems, points dropped, teams knocked out. What more could you ask for on a Wednesday night on the Football Terrace? Wow. And still games going on. It looks like PSG and Juve are going to go into extra time. I think PSV have deserved it. But that's going to go into extra time as well. I want to start tonight with the Premier League game. We'll go into because that ended first, essentially. And what can you say, really? It was an entertaining game. You can't deny that. Liverpool and Aston Villa both had really strong periods of the game. Liverpool started well, took the lead. Aston Villa really dominated the second half of the first half. The second half begins, barring a little flurry at the beginning from Aston Villa. Liverpool were absolutely brilliant up until their goal. Then Aston Villa came back into it and had chances themselves. Darwin Núñez, I mean, really probably walks away as the villain of the piece, really, with that massive miss that could have made it 3-2 with about 15 minutes to go. And that's another one for the catalogue of mistakes from the Liverpool striker. But it's points dropped. It's points dropped. And I don't necessarily think Liverpool were bad in terms of their performances today. You could definitely look at the defending for the 2 goals they conceded, though. And I don't think any Liverpool fan would be happy with the sort of pinball element of the first goal, Liverpool failing to clear it. The second one, Ollie Watkins just wandered into the box. Konate and Van Dijk didn't see him. He sort of dawdled past McAllister. It really wasn't a great end to the first half for Liverpool. It really, really wasn't. But their response was strong. And they really put the pressure on Villa. They deserved to get their goal back. And I would say over the course of 90 minutes, a draw was a fair result. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. I don't think it... Right at the end, there was a shot from Malin. And if that goes in, look, Villa celebrate. Arsenal fans celebrate. Man United fans celebrate. Liverpool fans are gutted. But it wouldn't have been out and out deserved. I don't think anybody would have believed that. I feel like a draw was the fair result between the two sides. But look, it is points dropped. It's 2 points dropped. But as of right now, it's an 8-point gap at the top of the league. Arsenal have to respond now on Saturday when they play West Ham. They simply have to win the game. Reduce it to 5 and put that pressure upon Liverpool when they play Man City this weekend. And we'll get onto City in a moment. Because who knows what's going to happen in that game. Arsenal's match was always must win. But I feel like that is elevated and gone to another level now. Because it is 8 points as it stands. But that can drop down to 5 due to the fact that it's a game in hand. And who knows? Arsenal reduce that to 5 by beating Leicester. Imagine City go and beat Liverpool. Arsenal will then have a game in hand themselves with an opportunity the week of the Carabao Cup final to reduce the points deficit to 2. And then essentially it's in Arsenal's hands. All they have to do is beat Liverpool at Anfield. Now, when I say that's all they'll have to do, that's a very difficult task. Liverpool have been the best team in the world for me this year. There's no doubt about it. But this is the time to capitalize because this is their... People have been asking for Liverpool's blip. And this is it. And their blip, by the way, has so far not seen any defeats in the Premier League. It's just seen draws. But that is still 2 points dropped. The irony in it is this, you know, they could have actually afforded to have lost one of the games against Villa or Everton and won the other, and they'd have more points through that period. So drawing games is bad unless Arsenal mess up. That's where, if Arsenal go and get beat by West Ham this weekend, it's an 8-point lead at the top, no game in hand. It's the Premier League, signed, sealed, delivered, and done at the halfway point of February. But I want to hear from Liverpool fans. I want your thoughts on the game. I want to know what you thought of the performances of your players today. As I've stated, I thought overall, it was an even game. Liverpool fans, though, should be disappointed with the defending for the 2 goals that they conceded. Far too pedestrian, too much standing still. Considering how hard it's been to penetrate Liverpool and score against them this season, that was nowhere near the standard. And the Darwin Núñez miss. He's missed many before. He's probably going to miss many again. But how costly will that be? He was the hero a couple of weeks ago against Brentford, but very much the villain tonight because he could have picked up all 3 points and really put even more pressure on Arsenal. And as D says here, that miss is criminal. Yeah, it was criminal. It was a terrible miss. Absolutely shocking miss from him. There's no doubt about it. Punez's miss was hilarious, is what Dino says here. Timo Núñez is what Dana Lamar has got to say. Look, most Liverpool... Look, I was working with the boys from Red Men TV a few weeks ago, and they're staunch believers in we don't criticize our current players. We don't criticize the players that are in our team. We don't criticize them at all. When they leave, we'll talk about them. That's always code for me for, yeah, you want him gone. Most Liverpool fans I know, whether they want to say it and admit it publicly, or whether they have the balls to stand up and say the honest thing to begin with, they know he isn't Liverpool standard. They know he needs to go. And I know he got the 2 winning goals against Brentford, and that was brilliant, and he deserved his flowers on the day. But it's too many massive chances this man has missed in his Liverpool career. Liverpool need better. You're right, D. Núñez should have won the game. I felt that if that goes in, Villa would have folded at that point. You walk away with the 3 points. There's no doubt about that in my mind at all. Liverpool fans laughed at Arsenal's rebuild. Now they'll watch us leave them in the dust and they'll be left clinging to the past. Look, that's brave from you. That's brave from you to say that, because Liverpool are still, they're 8 points clear right now. They'll be 5 points clear if you beat West Ham this weekend. Liverpool are still the favourites. Liverpool are still the best team in England. But if you believe you're going to catch them, fair play to you. Without Salah, Liverpool's attack is not top 4 attack. You had Gakpo missing today. I think Gakpo's been very, very good for Liverpool this season. I didn't think Mohamed Salah had a particularly good game tonight. I didn't. I thought he did okay. In terms of his performance, I'd probably give him a 6 out of 10. But he finishes the chance, and it's his move that drives the ball for the equaliser. And he's just a game changer. And I think his game-changing ability and deliverance in this game would push it up to another 8.5 out of 10. Yes, there was like Yuri Tillemans today was the man of the match across both teams with the way he dominated and just he absolutely, considering how good Gravenberch has been, to stand out. I'm not going to do the typical, he pocketed him, because I don't really think they were up against each other that often. There were times they had duels. But to stand out as the best midfielder against Ryan Gravenberch this season was excellent. But Mohamed Salah just has this ability to change games, and been saying it for I don't know how many months now. They've got to pay that man whatever he wants, because if and when he leaves, it could be game over. Not an excuse, but Gakpo out is a big miss. Only forward that holds his weight and helps Salah. Fair point, though. Also, why sub Trent? I think he subbed Trent. Look, with Bradley then picking up an injury, it didn't help, but Bradley has been a threat. Bradley has been a threat when he's come on recently. I swear Trent only had an injury recently, and it's been a regular occurrence. I don't necessarily see it as a slot blunder that he picked up an injury, but you can't not bring a player on because they might get injured. Otherwise, you'd never make a sub. Just know our back line was shit. Liverpool should have played better, in my opinion. Look, I actually thought the young lad, is it Garcia at right back? Barring his back pass, I thought he was excellent tonight. I thought Digne had overall a pretty good game. You obviously got a lot of play. You haven't got your strongest attack defense out there. I thought they were all right tonight, to be honest with you. a very open game, but that was more to do with the game state and how both teams sort of attacked, in my opinion. He's back. I will come to the Mbappe one in a few moments' time. We will. I've just seen Skinny Patrick backstage there. I can see him looking all skinny. I see his post the other day, losing all that weight. Big up yourself. Now, Manchester City. Tonight was pathetic. I have to say, tonight from Man City was absolutely pathetic. I understand there was a problem with Haaland. He wasn't feeling well. But he's on the bench, didn't play. I don't even see the point of having him on the bench if you're not going to bring him on. Maybe because they were 2-0 down, they just thought that there's no point now. Maybe if the game was in the balance, so that's a fair cop. I thought Pep Guardiola got it so wrong this evening. So wrong indeed. Pep had no focal point for the team at all. So Mamouche was going left, going right, dropping deep. You had Savio everywhere, but hugging that touchline and running at Mendy. The high line was far too high for the attack that you were up against. The size of the pitch at the Santiago Bernabeu, the high line, the lack of pace in the centre-back positions up against Mbappe, it was suicidal. I felt if City could come out, not leak the early chances as they did at home, be hard to break down, combative as they were against Newcastle at the weekend, I thought they had a chance. But they came out with a suicidal high line, far too open, no focal point in the team, caught out really. And by the way, just to everyone who thought that Everton's goal last week should have stood, fouls are given much easier in Europe. Did you see a little push from Mbappe in the back? I told you those things are rarely given. And people just got to start listening. I don't lie about these things. But they go 1-0 up. And I felt as soon as that goal went in, I think City checked out. 4-2, City checked out. They didn't really try. There was nothing. I know they scored right at the end. And we'll get on to Mbappe in a moment. They scored right at the end. A complete consolation goal. Should have been a penalty, actually. Shouldn't have been a free kick. I'm not too sure why VAR didn't check that. Consolation goal for Nico Gonzalez. Didn't deserve the goal. This man he was excellent against Newcastle at the weekend, but I know it was Real Madrid, but he reminded me today of his Leyton Orient performance. He just got run over, by the way, by Dani Ceballos. Dani Ceballos outperformed him. I know it's Real Madrid, but that's still Dani Ceballos. A long, long way to go for him, and a long, long way to go for this City team. The second goal, it was a wonderful piece of play by all involved. Great pass to break the line from Jude. Wonderful cut inside by Vinicius. Ball played onto Mbappe. What Mbappe then did to Guardiola, that man planted him like a tree. The fact that Mbappe did the like one off and did the motion, I thought it was taking the piss a little bit, but we all like a bit of banter in football, unless you're Jamie Carragher. Hope he's calling that out tonight on CBS. But it was the second goal was something special. Absolutely special from him. But the third goal was a pick of the bunch for me. And what I loved about the third goal is there was like 3 Real Madrid players attacking 11 City players. But it was only Phil Foden who went towards Mbappe and didn't really put any effort in. He skips round him, buries it into the bottom corner, and the whole City team is standing still. Absolutely checked out. Absolutely checked out. And that is the season over in terms of Premier League and the Champions League. And it went out with an absolute canter. And I know City fans will say Rodri, and I know City fans will talk about injuries. And I know John Stones went off. But let's not pretend like Madrid have not got their own injury problems in their own team as well. But they rectified their holes in the January window by dropping £200 million. So it suddenly stops becoming an excuse like before, does it not? I thought it was considering how good they were against Newcastle tonight, I know it's Real Madrid, and I'm taking nothing away from that. I just thought it was absolutely flaccid in every single which way. And I think City fans tonight will be, of course, proud and love what this team has won over recent years. But in isolation to tonight's performance, City fans will be annoyed. They'll be a little bit embarrassed, and they'll definitely be frustrated at the way their team went about it. There's no doubt about that in my mind whatsoever. I want your thoughts and feelings and opinions on this. Now, a few more super chats before my panel comes out tonight. He's back. The fact this man has been Mbappe's worst season in a while, and yet he has 25 goals. I think he has 27 goals, they said on commentary. Shows levels, and tonight was a reminder. Nobody wants to play Real Madrid in this competition. I completely agree. They were poor in the sort of league stage. I watched them tonight. I just like, they can attack with 3 players and tear through teams. But exactly, City were really poor and pathetic. Still not my favourites above Liverpool. Liverpool are my favourites still. But I tell you who else you got to look out for in this tournament. Oh, PSV have just scored. Oh, my God. Look at this. Do you know what? I'm loving this year's Champions League. I know people have slagged the format off. We've seen so many shocks, really. Teams you didn't expect to be in the top 8. PSV winning. Club Brugge winning last night. It's amazing. They're not through yet, but fair play to them. PSG have clicked into gear. Forget what you saw from PSG in the first 5-6 group games. The PSG in the last 2 league matches and the knockout stages have been a different level. I think they won 7 or 8-0 tonight. They have also, since I said my top 4, top 5, they've moved up a level. They have moved up a level, in my personal opinion. City got treated like Lily Phillips tonight, run through and worn out. Yeah, it's true. Heard today that Bonnie Blue's pregnant. How the fuck? That's a lot of DNA tests, isn't it? City got dog walked over 2 legs, 6-3 flattered City. I thought City were good for large parts of the game at home. Poor in the first 15 minutes, then they scored and dominated for a long while. I felt that that last 10 minutes of that first game is where this all fell apart for them. I do. Ceballos has been Real Madrid's top 2 midfielders. Terry doesn't know ball. Listen, I understand that he's playing well. The commentators said it. But still, it's still Dani Ceballos. Dani Ceballos is in good form, but he's still Dani Ceballos. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy about this. Still Dani Ceballos. They slagged off the format because Arsenal done well, by the way. Look, there was some of that from certain pundits. Absolutely. It's I've enjoyed it. I don't feel that there's been anything wrong with this new format in any way, shape, or form. Now, before we bring the panel out tonight, I want to shout out our title sponsor, Stocks FC. You can sign up now and get your 5 free stocks just by scanning the QR code and signing up to a brand new free account. But there's a few things I want to show you on there. First of all, Marcus Rashford's stock is flying. The stock, he didn't score tonight, but it was another very, very good performance. Look where it was a few days ago. Look where it was a little while ago. Right down there. Really, really low. Almost doubled now in valuation. He's someone to look out for. But what's really important to look at when it comes to this is this player. He wasn't great today, but I think there's a baller in him. Starting soon, okay, in the next 14 hours, is the Omar Mamouche stocks. So if you enjoy playing fantasy and you want to own the stock, if you really do have stock in Omar Mamouche, you can go and get that now. In 14 hours' time, it is out and it is ready for you. So get yourself signed up to Stocks FC now by scanning the QR code that's on the screen. Also, everyone who signs up until the end of February will go into a prize draw where one of you will be winning a PlayStation 5, courtesy of us. So the draw will be done by Stocks FC because they can't send me back, even though you're my subscribers, they can't send me your personal data because of data protection, but they will be doing the draw because they know which people have signed up through our QR code. So get that done now or at the end of the show. That would be amazing. Who we got on the panel tonight? We've got Omar, we've got Husam, we've got Patrick, we've got Rack, got Man Like G, we've got Ram. Wonder if the DM Maestro Matt will turn up. I don't know. If you're not in that group chat, you won't understand what that's all about. But there we go. Right, Husam is here, Ram is here, G, Rack, Patrick, Omar. Welcome back to the show, gentlemen. Husam, big points dropped tonight.
I don't even know where to start. This is just PTSD, bad memories from last season, to be honest with you. Once again, with the forward line players, some shit never changes. It's just the same people letting us down over and over again. You know, people talk about defending. People will say stuff like this. I get it. You know, the defending for the 2 goals was bad, but we could have scored about 10 goals today. We just missed all our opportunities. Darwin Núñez misses a sitter. Jota misses about 4 sitters. He was crap as well. And it's just boring, to be honest with you. It's just boring. It's the same old movie over and over again. Some of these players are a bunch of P-word. I don't want to insult a lot, so I don't get Terrace stream demonetized. So, you know, I'm absolutely livid. I'm absolutely fuming. I'm starting to lose hope. And if we lose this league title to Nwaneri and Moreno, we just need to like dissolve the club at this point, because that's absolutely pathetic and disgraceful. And I'm just looking at the way that we play. We no longer have that control that we had at the start of the season. We no longer have that defensive stability. And on top of that, our forwards are missing chances like there is no tomorrow. Once again, we created enough chances to absolutely destroy Aston Villa today. We didn't. Slot criticism is his substitutions made us significantly worse. Trent had momentum, absolutely incredible for that goal. He was absolutely cooking. He had a very good performance. And, you know, after he scored the goal, he had amazing momentum. He was a creative outlet for us. He just subbed him off because of premeditated, oh, he can only play 60 minutes. Even if you want to sub him off, at least give him 10, 15 more minutes, see if he can cook, see if he can cook up something, see if he can do something. Szoboszlai, absolutely disgraceful performance for a number 10. I know he created the chance for Núñez, but overall, I'm saying in the final third, listen, no one props up a number 10's work rate. No one cared about Ozil's work rate or Kaká's work rate or any number 10 in history's work rate. So we're not going to sit up here and do work rate prop like we're doing Conor Gallagher. So for me now, the margin for error is 0. I don't care how many points ahead of Arsenal we are. Others can bring out the calculator. I won't. I have it here to mock them because I believe in momentum. I don't believe in calculations, you know, and we can lose here and we can lose there, and it's okay because we're this many points ahead. Momentum is very important in the sport. Momentum is very important in football, and we just absolutely bottled the opportunity to have momentum today. And for me, it's on the forward line players and it's on Slot for the substitutions. And I have to say it because I'm someone who keeps the same energy with the players. I think this is Gravenberch's 3rd bad game in a row, to be honest with you. And I think it's affecting us negatively because I don't know if you remember 3 years ago, not 3 years ago, longer than that, like 6 years ago when Chelsea had Mauricio Sarri, it used to be a thing like if you stopped Jorginho, you stopped Chelsea. And I feel like I'm not going to go that far with us because we still have like Salah, Van Dijk, etc. But it feels like when you stop that dynamism in midfield, you just stop us. And Slot's plan worked, specifically that first 15, 20 minutes. We just didn't capitalize when it comes to taking our opportunities. And then when Aston Villa scored pathetic defending from a set piece, they scored again. But once again, we create enough chances to win the game, and we just don't because we just like to F around and mess around. And draws have come back in title races to bite us in the ass before. And I hope this time they don't come back to bite us in the ass again. That's the only thing I can pray for. I can only pray that West Ham do something. I can only pray that Forest do something against Arsenal. Because the way that we are playing, I'll be honest with you, we're going to drop points again from now till the end of the year. And this is just the reality of the situation. We've been, unfortunately, absolute dog shit in front of goal today. And yeah, that's my analysis and summary of the game, to be honest with you.
I just wanted to ask you when you were saying that about Gravenberch in the last 3 games, what is he not doing that he was prior? What's missing from his game that you think's become a problem?
I don't even think necessarily it's like missing something. I don't know what G and Ram think, but like I don't think it's necessarily like something that's missing. I think it's just because sometimes I feel like we like to find excuses for players, and I just don't want to do that. I actually think it's he needs to step up. This is your moment, you know. This is the run, and this is like people criticize Salah as an example for the run. Okay, today 1 goal, 1 assist away at Villa Park. Yeah, Habibi, what more you want? Like some players just have to step up, guys. We can't just keep relying on the same people over and over again. Jota need to step up. Núñez need to step up. Szoboszlai need to step up. This isn't a scapegoating thing. As an example, I thought Robertson was very good today. I thought he was one of our better players today, Andy Robertson. This is not scapegoating a clock. Robertson was very good. Curtis Jones was very good. It's actually the players that we rely on that let us down. If I told Terry before at Straight Facts today, Jota's going to have like 4 clear-cut opportunities, he's going to say he's going to score at least 2 of them. Hell, worst-case scenario, he's going to score 1 of them. He scored none of them. So that's the thing. The only thing that I blame Slot for is the substitutions because his substitutions ruined the game. In terms of Gravenberch, he needs to hold individual responsibility. because he's not playing out of the press like he used to. He's not passing like he used to. He's not evading presses like he used to. And I don't know what that is down to. Is it the pressure moments getting to him? I don't know what it is.
I think on that is one of Gravenberch's best attributes is when he does get pressed, because of his agility and the way he moves, it's so easy for him to get out of it. Teams have stop doing that now. They're like, okay, fine, let's see what you can do. Can you dictate play? And he doesn't have the passing capability or the vision to dictate play like you'd want. Say, for instance, like a Michael Carrick used to do for United, or for what Busquets did for Barcelona. He doesn't have that capability. He is a box-to-box midfielder. He travels from box to box because he's good at running. He's a strong runner, and he's very good at keeping the ball. That's one of his big attributes. He's never been a great dictator of play, and that's one of the key things that we need in a DM. That's the simple fact about it. But it's more than Gravenberch, because I think the whole setup that Stott did for today was spot on. We had 4 in midfield, 4 centre midfielders. The first 15 minutes we were controlling the game. We had good amounts of possession. We were keeping the ball. We made chances. It's just the fact of the matter is Jota decides to put all of his shots near the corner flag than near the goal. Núñez, look, we gave him praise for Brentford, but we also said he will cost us games this season. But unfortunately, people don't want to hear that. We remember last season, Newcastle, he saved us. But remember Luton, remember games like that. He will cost us games. And today was another example. Szoboszlai is my guy. So everyone knows I wanted Szoboszlai at the start last season. But for me, he's not a 10. Might as well play him as a DM. At least he can defend. Like, there's no point of him playing up top if he's not going to take any risks. He plays as if he's shook, and he can't control the ball and sort out his feet. This is a 10. This is a guy that's meant to be your most creative player, your most technical footballer, and he's not even doing that. It's absolutely crazy. And do you know what the fun part of it is? I didn't think we actually played that badly. For the first 75 minutes, I didn't think we played badly. It's just that 2 stupid errors defensively, not tracking your runners, cost us. And the fact we can't take our chances when we had 4. And people like to talk about the Núñez open goal miss. Do you guys forget that he was running through on goal and decides to try and take on Martinez instead of pass it to Curtis Jones? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He had Curtis Jones and Mo Salah free. And there's a simple square ball to them, and he didn't decide to pass it to them. This is the stuff that we've got to deal with. Like, because Núñez fans will say he's done this, he's done that, but they don't want to acknowledge the fact that he's cost us games. And this is the crunch time of it all. We need to be scraping through these games against Aston Villa, the likes of Manchester City that's coming up next. And it is poor. It's absolutely poor that we can't seem to get these games over the line. It is ridiculous, man. It is.
Villa were there for the taking today. Villa were there for the taking. And if we were taking our chances and been as dominant as we should have been, we would have won comfortably. And the fact that we let them in, the fact that we even gave them opportunities in this game is concerning. You just have to hope that things will turn around, because we have had some poor performances recently. I wouldn't say today's performance was that bad, but you know, sometimes when you have like the other day, like at Wolves, we had a bad performance, we won the game. Today's was a decent performance, but ultimately it's almost worth nothing because we dropped the points. Villa are going through a bad spell. Villa had some players out. Yes, we had some players out as well, fine. But player for player, we're a better team than Villa, and we didn't show it today. And especially there was a period, maybe I think it was maybe from the 50th to the 70th minute, where basically we were camped in their half, playing the ball around, and we just couldn't capitalise. And it's not good enough, unfortunately. Look, we still have. We're going to drop points. I don't think the crazy thing is I don't think Liverpool fans are under any illusions that we're going to drop points. But I also think Arsenal will drop points, and that's the only thing that gives me some comfort, because people will look at the Leicester result, for example, and say, oh yeah, they won that game, but they were also pretty bad in that game for the vast majority, and then Mikel Merino came on and won the game. So I think both teams are going to drop points. We just need to be professional. We need to hopefully. I said this about the Wolves game. Hopefully, this result is the kick up the arse that we need going into the City game and going forward, because today wasn't enough.
Yeah, listen, I get you on that. I'm going to come to G in a minute about Liverpool and speak a bit more about them and do the super chat. So stay with us, Patrick. Obviously, another disappointing night for Man City this evening. Mbappe took you apart.
Yeah, I should have just watched Pornhub, if you don't mind me saying, because that was just that was too much. I'm sorry. I should have just subscribed. I've never subscribed to Pornhub, but I should have just done a subscription and watched it.
You don't need to subscribe, Bob. You don't need to subscribe. It's just free. You Google
no,
it.
I wanted the premium because this was premium beating.
Okay.
I wanted the good stuff, the 4K. That's what I wanted.
I see. Anyway, I didn't know about any of that. I'll have a look later.
I know, but anyway, it was bad. It was poor. But first of all, what was more embarrassing is the fact that everybody knew that as soon as you put Gundogan and Silva in that midfield, everyone was questioning it. So this season, it's been quite funny that even fans, Terry, are able to point out something in the lineup, and every time the fans point out something, those particular players actually stink. So today we were asking, why are you playing Gundogan and Silva? They've been so bad this season. They've been so slow this season, and that's what happened. We were so slow. There was nothing we were doing. Madrid were just toying with us. There was a point in time I wanted to find the customer service to UEFA and tell them just give it up, because there was a point in time when the whole stadium was just going ole, and we were just walking, and there's nothing we could do. And you know what? Do you know what's funny? As soon as they benched Gundogan and Foden, who also has been stinking this season and covered his stinkers with goals, somehow Marketing and whoever came in, City started playing fast football. So I'm like, oh, now you're desperate. Now you're playing fast football, and you're now actually looking threatening. But this was just dominant. The quality between the two teams was too much. And I think most City fans, we got gassed up by the Newcastle performance, but at least there was a bit of fight in that. But here, there was no fight at all. I think as soon as that first goal went in, City just gave up, and they just said, you know what, it is what it is. Pep Guardiola, why don't you just make subs? And this is why I've actually been respecting the Liverpool manager, even though Liverpool fans maybe are not grateful. I like the fact that unlike Pep and Klopp, who sit there and just smile and drink water, at least this Liverpool manager makes changes sometimes. I have watched games where he's made changes. Why our manager was sitting there, why he knows that we're just doing the same thing, pass to the left, pass to the right. Do you know what Madrid were doing? We're just sitting back watching us. And I knew that this is going to be a long day. You know what? Big up to Mbappe. A lot of us said he was finished. I think I was one of the people saying this guy hasn't done anything since the World Cup. He dunked on us, and that other second goal where he sat everybody down, he was even pointing at Josko and laughing. They even laughed at us at the Etihad. They laughed at us today. I'm telling you, this is embarrassing, and it's on the manager. And a lot of City fans don't want to criticize the manager, but he's been dropping the ball this season with some of the lineups, and he's been dropping the ball with what he's been doing. But trust me, there's these Pep sexuals. I call them Pep sexuals. They love him so much. They are not going to say anything. They're not going to question
like Vator.
Yeah. I know. I don't
is that one of the premium options on Pornhub?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying we have to question him. I know that he's had a difficult season, and personally things have been difficult. But I told people that, do you know what's going to make it worse? The fact that we've gone in January and spent the most money and bought more players for him, people will start questioning him, saying, do something then. You were saying you don't have players, now you have them, then do something. And look at him. He keeps playing the same pensioners, players that don't even have to be here, and he thinks they can bail him out. You know what? I said KDB has to leave. I was saying at least just throw in KDB at this point in time. We're already being slapped. Let's just throw in KDB. But it is what it is. You know what? I am just praying that at least, I know this is shameless. I know I want Liverpool to win the league, but I'm just shameless. At least just cause Liverpool trouble. At this point in time, that's what's going to bring me a bit of pride. Just cause them trouble at the Etihad. Make them drop more points. At least there'll be few people.
Look, from a title race point of view, like anyone who wants a title race, which isn't Liverpool fans, wants City to win this weekend because it throws the cat amongst the pigeons. But your point on Pep, listen, I think he's a genius, one of the greatest managers to ever do it. What he's done at Man City in the last 8 years has been sensational. I'm not going to try and play down any of his achievements. But tonight was just, as you say, awful. Personnel that have no legs, playing a defense. The speed. I want to say something about Madrid in a minute, but the speed of Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo, and basically playing on the halfway line with, your real fast centre back. It was actually playing the new lad who was playing right back wasn't there. Just for balls to get knocked over the top, I thought to myself, for such a genius manager, how have you made that mistake? You guys needed to be hard to break down, nice and compact, get through maybe the first 20 minutes of the game, and then start trying to dominate the ball. But with how you started with your high line and the fact that you had no focal point in the team, I couldn't work out how you were going to do it. I thought it was a really managerially, I thought it was a really, really poor night from Pep tonight. So I agree.
It was poor. Then I'm telling you, Terry, you just even if you see in the chat the City fans there that disagreeing, they can never. And this is, I understand. Look, he's the best City manager. There's nobody who's going to outdo him. But you still have to question him. Like, you don't have to sit there and just kiss his ass every time. Like, sorry, I hope you don't get monetized. But you don't have to just. You just don't have to bow down and say whatever he does is great. I'm telling you, my fellow City fans, it's worse that we went to January and bought players, because the judgment within these last games is going to be different. Because people will be saying, okay, you had injuries, but now you've got this Husam of guy. You've got Mamush, who was the top goal scorer. What the hell was that?
Sorry, Juve should have equalized. Sorry, I've got the game on. Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah, so I'm saying, I was wondering. I was like, is somebody that's put her bone? I don't know. Anyway, I was saying, people are gonna question the fact that, oh, you've got the players are here. You bought Nico. Nico is the DM, but you're still benching all these new guys, or sometimes benching people who are hungry, and you're still playing. Because today, I think if Haaland is not here, what's Mamush's strength? He goes in behind. Then why don't you play KDB to create for him? Why don't you play KDB to play for him? You know yourself, Silva doesn't create anything. Gundogan's legs are done. He doesn't do anything these days. But I don't know. Anyway, at least we're out of the competition, because I thought that even though we could have somehow gone through Madrid, we still have to play Leverkusen and Atletico Madrid. Then eventually we'll meet Liverpool and Arsenal again. So might as well just get beaten right now. But big up to Madrid and PSG. They look like the stars have woken up now, because they were not doing very well at the beginning. Now they woke up. So
they do, which again, I think for the Champions League is great. I wanted to say about Real Madrid quickly before I go to G and Omar to talk on Liverpool or whatever Omar did to speak about, because I might not be Liverpool, but we'll do that. I want to be very careful with how I word this, because language is important. I know Mbappe and Vinicius are better than Rodrigo, but I feel out of the whole front three, Rodrigo is the most important. And what I mean by that is it's what he does for the team as well. The tracking back, the running, the hard work. Vinicius did a little bit of it as well tonight. I'm not saying he's underrated even. I was just so impressed tonight. He's just brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I think he plays differently, but that description's there. I was just watching him tonight and I was thinking to myself, there's all this talk about like him leaving. And I thought to myself, they let him go. They're stupid. I actually think he'll really hurt their team if he leaves. Just wanted to make that point because we don't cover Real Madrid too regularly. G, what are you saying about your team tonight, my friend?
These lot said it already, man. I wasn't really surprised though with the result. I didn't think we'd win the game anyway. So to get a draw, I thought, all right, that's all right at Villa Park. But yeah, what can you say when your attack is the attack that we've got? You know what I mean? Like, Jota is supposed to be like our best finisher, and yeah, that was awful. Nunes is Nunes. I'm not even actually mad at the guy, because you sort of just expect it at this point. It doesn't surprise me that you've missed. Like, I'm not like, oh my goodness, he missed again. It's like, well, he does that. Do you know what I mean? At this point, you'd be stupid to even be mad at it. Like, at this kind of point now. Yeah. So yeah, like in the second half, when Villa went into like a mid-block, Liverpool, like they have for like 5 years, they don't know how to break these type of teams down. Like, it just, for some weird reason, you come up against a mid to low block, and all of a sudden now, it's like the players just start just knocking it around slowly. It's lethargic. There's no movement. You're waiting for the Hail Mary from Trent or Van Dijk to pick out fucking Salah. And I'm like, it's like, you're still doing this. I thought we were trying to, move away from that. And Villa didn't need to do too much. You know what I mean? Liverpool had about 17 shots with 3 on target. I'm not scared of that. Like, why would you be scared of that? Because that's toothless. You're not worried about things like that. Liverpool can have all the possession. They can do all of the nice stuff at the back with Van Dijk, Kanate passing between themselves. But there was a lot of players in there. Alisson, he was shit. Do you know what I mean? Like Zabozalai, shit. Nunes, Jota. Like, there's too many individual players that in certain moments you're like, come on, man. Gravenberch, nobody speaks about it. Husam said it. Like, it's been like 3 or 4 games. The guy has zero influence at this moment in time. But everyone's kept quiet because, you know, he's been somewhat good, you know, this season. So, you know, man, it's one of those games. You're not going to be mad because you got a point and you didn't lose the game. But these performances, and Rax is right, we were better in this game, but we were shit in the second half against Wolves. So this is just like, well, yeah, you're better than that, which wasn't hard to do anyway. So when we keep having these kind of performances, I'm sorry, you can't keep winning games. Everton, you can't win them. Newcastle, you can't win them. This game, you can't win them. Wolves, lucky to win it. You know, you can't keep doing this and expecting that Mo Salah will just bail you out every single time. You can't, like, at some point, your performances have to match what you're trying to do. And at the moment, it hasn't. I'm not saying it's going to continue, by the way. I'm just saying at this moment in time, in the last, I would say, really 2025, to be honest with you, I've not watched Liverpool maybe one game and I've said, oh, that was good. The rest have been kind of poor. And we just scraped by here, win this game, that one. And you think, oh, yeah, at least we're winning games and no one cares about performances, right? Well, guess what? Tonight, the performance weren't there. You didn't win. So now we're going to care. So now we're going to need to start caring at this point. So
one of my little brothers is a Liverpool fan. And we were talking the other day and he just said, without Salah, we'd have dropped off the top spot this year. And he doesn't do content. We just talking as family. Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is I haven't brought that up on any other show just because I get stick for it because I'm not a Liverpool fan. But he said it, and I was like, oh, that's a fair point. And he just said that we've been so poor that most of 2025. I think he said, he goes, without Salah, because he was talking more about the contract, saying like without that guy, and it's like tonight, without Salah's goal. And maybe somebody else would have been there. But the point is, I don't know if somebody else would have been there because it's not like on the left-hand side, somebody's always there to tap it in like Mo Salah is. He has the instinct for it. You know, Ronaldo used to get not hundreds. Ronaldo scored loads of goals at the back post for us. He left. It wasn't like someone else just ran to the back post and scored. There's an instinct thing. So listen, I get you. You know, the saving grace you would think is, you know, Arsenal's form's been sketchy at times this year and they don't have a front line at the moment because the one thing you can't afford to do is lose the league title to this Arsenal front line now. Because I don't know. They should have scored their fourth goal of the night, PSV. I don't know how you'll live that just from a purely banter point of view. I don't know how you guys will live that. It'll be a madness. It will be.
I'm not even entertaining the thought right now. I'm not entertaining the thought. I don't even want to think about that nonsense because it'll be too much, Terry. It'll be too much. You know exactly what's going to happen if that was the. Yeah, I can't even contemplate it.
It will be crazy.
Can I ask the Liverpool fans something? Just ask them. Just looking at how you guys are playing, and I know a lot of you. I was on a show, I think, with you yesterday, and you seem to say you're just having moments where your team is saving you. Are you confident for the match against City now? Because yes, City suck, but now you're coming to the Etihad, and that's a City side. That's pride has been hurt, and you guys obviously have to get points. I am now looking at you guys because I was watching the Villa game. I was like, we can actually get at these guys too. They seem to also be a bit like, you know, like when a team is shit, but there's somebody who just rescues them, as you say, it's Mo Salah. You seem like if somebody locks up Mo Salah, you guys are in trouble. Or is Gakpo coming back? So how confident are you against City? How confident are you looking at City right now?
You know, like these type of games, yeah. It's like when you face you're not on this level, by the way, but it's like when we face Manchester United. It's like it's a derby, so to speak, in terms of facing against Man City. So it's almost like form kind of goes out the window, if I'm being honest with you. So you're not really looking at it as, well, City have been like this, Liverpool have been like this. I'm just more like, it's kind of like a rivalry between the two teams still, regardless of where City are at this moment in time. So I'm not going to say I'm not worried about you guys, but it wouldn't surprise me if the game just ended in a draw. Like I won't be surprised if that happens, if that makes sense. But at the same time, we could go there and slap you, you know, and it could be one of those kind of games. So
Haaland didn't play, did he? Did Haaland come on today, or he stayed on the bench?
Nope. Nah, he wasn't fit enough, but he might play. He might play against you guys. KDB, I know he's going to play against you guys because he's been sitting on the bench for 2 games. So I'm pretty sure.
Looks like Connor Bradley's going to be out for the game because he looks like he went off. So, which again, I think is a blow because there might come a point in the game where you need that defensive stability at right back. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great. I think the pressure increases on Liverpool if Arsenal win. So if Arsenal beat West Ham, I think that's when the game on Sunday becomes even more interesting because if City were to win, then from an Arsenal point of view, they've got a game in hand. They win that, they're 2 points behind you. And just for the dynamic of it, I think changes. If Arsenal drop points to West Ham, I think you get a result of some kind against City because I think it relieves a bit of that pressure. So that's going to be an amazing one. We're going to speak to obviously V, Omar, and Will Williams. Omar, obviously you joined us. What are you here to say, mate?
I was going to talk about the Champions League game because that's the one I watched between Madrid and Manchester City.
Cook, bro.
First of all, congratulations to Will. It was an amazing performance today. Mbappe, probably best performance I've seen him in a Madrid shirt today. Absolutely killed it today. But honestly, the whole conversation I want to talk about is Manchester City. From the starting lineup, when I saw the lineup and I saw that midfield of Gundogan and Nico Gonzalez, I knew it was over. I'm going to be honest, when I saw Gundogan,
what would you change?
I'm sorry, I would have rather seen Kovacic. Kovacic came on today and he did more than Gundogan. I would have rather seen him, right? And the worst thing for me is, and Vator, you're a City fan, and so are you.
Patrick.
There was no point in the game today where I felt like City actually were trying to get back into this tie. Like from the moment the game started, yes, you had a sucker punch, early goal, right? Didn't plan that. That's fine. For me, it was just how slow you guys were on the ball, right? There was no urgency to try to get the goal back and try to give yourself some hope. Like I watched that game and I was like, if you didn't know who was leading this tie on aggregate, you would have thought Real Madrid were the ones that were actually coming into the second leg behind. Because from the start of the game, they were on it. They were on City's neck. And the fact that you guys went that whole first half, you guys had your first shot on target in the 70th minute, Vader. Yeah. 70th minute. That's when you had your first shot on target.
7-0. Wow.
It got to a point where Real Madrid, that's why you saw it. When could have had just chilled. They just chilled. You saw they were not attacking anymore because they were like, it's over. We don't have to overwork ourselves. We have a game in the weekend we have to worry about. The title race is heating up in La Liga, so we'll go focus on that because we've already won this game. And that was the worst thing for me. And for me, looking at this game, what it showed me is that this summer, it's not over. So many players have to leave this team. You guys need to get rid of so many players. I'm sorry, Gundogan is finished. I mean, there's a reason why Barca. Looking at it now, I can see now.
What did you guys do to him? Because he was cooking when he was here. He went over there for 1 year and
he stopped getting I know what it is. No, he stopped getting the peds.
Oh wow.
So he stopped getting the soldier juice. From what's that stuff called in Marvel? They stick into the soldiers.
Yeah,
I'm not helping you with
the serum.
The serum. Yeah, no more serum.
But yeah, look, at the end of the day, I think that I'll be honest, I was very surprised when we let him go. But I feel like maybe there was something Hansi Flick saw in him, like in the first few weeks that he was with him in
preseason. He's washed. Yeah. That's why you guys let him go.
Yeah, that's why. He must have seen what was coming this season. I was like,
it's time to learn Arabic.
If you think about it, Will, in the start of the season, we had so many injuries in our team. Our midfield wasn't good enough, and the fact that we still got rid of him, for me, tells me that he was clearly Hansi Flick knew this guy he couldn't rely on this guy this season. And so far, let's be honest, Vator, you've seen him this season. He has not been reliable at all. And you guys have had injury problems. I understand that, right? But today, he was poor. Bernardo Silva really didn't do anything until the second half when he had like a shot. That was literally the only thing he did in the game. What's his name? Foden, another one. Dude, your players spend more time today slipping on the ball than actually doing anything. I could not believe it.
I think you'd have an easier list just saying who played well versus going through who didn't play well because that's a long list.
Let's list the bad performances, please, Omar.
No, but look, let's be real. If I'm gonna be honest, I can't really highlight anyone who played well. I'm genuinely thinking about it. I mean, I would say probably, I don't know, Edison, because he did save that great chance by Mbappe. But really, apart from that, the defense, Ruben Diaz was poor. All right. Yep. When Ake came on, didn't do anything. Kushmanov was playing at the position.
Johnston's injured again. Yeah.
Flop.
Yeah. Kushmanov is not a fullback. The guy has never played fullback. And
that's why I don't crash it on close enough, because he was playing.
And that's the thing. That's why I don't blame him. I'm not blaming him.
But V, do you agree with Patrick earlier? Patrick put this on Pep Guardiola's poor pick lineup, poor setup, and poor approach tonight. Do you agree that Pep got it absolutely, fundamentally, universally wrong?
No, that was way too expressive. I think tactically he got it wrong. I struggle with what the 11 might be, with the exception of maybe, obviously, Gunnigan's doesn't have legs, but I don't think we would have had much joy with Kovacic either. Like, I think
it would have been better.
It would have been marginally better, because again, those two players I don't believe are with us next year. Like, it's a matter of these two players don't have the legs to really match up with what Real Madrid have, and Real were ready to run, ready to press, ready to even from a physicality standpoint, we don't have it. So when I looked at the starting 11 and I looked at the bench, I was like, okay, who am I going to nitpick here? I'm going to say Kovacic? Am I going to say McAtee? Am I going to say KDB? I reserved myself to think about the league. I'm not joking, guys. I want top 4, and I want it comfortably. I don't want to be stressing about it. And I think Pep was like, let me see how these players handle this game for the first half. And yes, we got sucker punched. We got punched in the face, and it wasn't like we weren't looking. We set up and they went right over top, and that game plan was over with. And Mbappe had mad confidence after that. He was playing like the PSG Mbappe, not the Real Madrid that's been trying to find his form. So we were all day just trying to manage the game, in my opinion, be ready for the rest of the weekend and the rest of the season. If I'm
going to be honest,
you're saying today was training. Today was prep.
Well, I didn't say today was training. I think Pep set them up to try and get the win. And once it was out of hand, once he saw that, we're outmatched. Look at the subs that he made. The subs that he made were pretty much. You know what? Let me look.
You are confirming that Pep told the team to give up.
No, I'm not confirming that Pep told the team to give up. I'm confirming that Pep managed the game, knowing that we got a season and Champions League was not going to be the trophy for us this year.
So give up. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I'll say this, right? I know I've been giving credit
as a United fan these days, but no, that's not.
I know I've been giving a lot of criticism, but I'll say this. I haven't said this. I think I said this to Will, because Will knows this, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to Madrid, they are not known for starting well in the Champions League. They don't start well. They usually, it's around this time of like the Champions League, when it's knockout rounds, when you really start to see how they're gonna do for the rest of the Champions League. And what's that?
I thought that you meant we don't start off games fast. We
usually no. I mean, like, if you remember the last few years, you won the Champions League. Even the seasons you've won the Champions League, right? You've had slow starts in the group stages, right?
Remember all the conversations we had, Terry? See how they're coming into fruition now? Remember all the conversations we had from when the first Champions League game kicked off? Oh, Madrid don't look the same. And I tell you,
Madrid never start well, Husam.
As soon as knockout stages starts, they become a different team.
My issue is,
and today they showed that like killer instinct.
I've been listening to too many online Real Madrid fans who've been saying how trash they are. That's my problem.
But like they have like rich people problems, like my 15th butler is not working, so I only have 14 butlers in the house. Like that's their problems. While we all actually have actual problems, that's their problem. Like, oh, get Carlo out my club. Like, if Carlo Ancelotti achieved what he achieved at any of our clubs, we'd have like a statue outside the club. That like they have a different like level of like thought process, if you could call it.
Well, don't let this performance make you think that we've been good this season, right? It's
there you go. See, live proof.
Not about being good.
I don't mean to agree, but it's true, man.
No, but what I'm saying is, just because we cooked you today, it doesn't mean that I still can't complain about what I've been seeing over the last 5-6 months. It's not been a good season in general by what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, but you do this, you guys. You had a bad season and you still cooked us before.
This is why every people say you're weak. City to win. They don't want you.
What season was that? They're like, oh, Madrid is weak. Oh, they're done.
What?
And then you cooked us.
What are you talking about? The 2022 run?
Yeah,
Like
I think
that's
it was
when
the
like we
time when,
played like
I
Man
remember-
City, PSG.
Yeah,
I think,
those-
The year
Chelsea as
Benzema
well.
pretty much went Super Saiyan, and you guys started off slow, and then you
Yeah.
guys crushed it.
I
That's
didn't- you
the
know
Well,
what?
look,
I don't
right?
understand.
And that's the thing
So
with
this
Madrid,
performance
bro.
today was a very good performance. This was actually the best performance that we've had all season. And because of the magnitude of this game, it was the biggest game of our season so far
They
because
cooked us.
we had to advance, right? The fact that we were even in the playoffs, Terry, I told you last week, I was very annoyed with the fact that I didn't just automatically qualify because we haven't been good in the Champions League this season. We haven't really been that good in the league in general as well. And then when I was looking at it, right, the form that we were both heading into this game on, it did make me a little bit hesitant. I always thought that we were going to win, but I saw Man City with the 4-0 win against Newcastle. And then we draw 1-1 against Osasuna, and we're missing all these chances. That was playing in the back of my mind. But what I saw today, that was 95 minutes of belt to ass. City did nothing that game. That consolation goal at the end, it might make it look like the game was a bit more competitive, but it wasn't, right? My defense today, the way that they were able to take care of City's attack, when Valverde and Asensio go home and they empty out their pockets, Marmouche and Savio will fall out. I didn't even realize that Phil Foden was on the pitch. I really didn't. He did nothing today. Your midfield overrun. Nico Gonzalez hype. You guys are talking, and not to have energy with you, Patrick, because it might seem like I'm coming at you, bro, but it's a lot of City fans that just got a lot of chest for some reason as if we're rivals. I don't view Man City as rivals.
Because you played them in the past few years, man.
City,
Because-
like Real Madrid thing every year in the Champions League now. We're not rivals, right? You guys trolling us last week. Stop crying your hearts out and all this stuff. Bro, find shame. And again, it's not you, Patrick. It's just City fans in general. You guys are not at our level. Even when we're so imbalanced, we're still better than you. Danny Ceballos, I don't even recognize who this player is anymore. The last 2 to 3 months, he has been phenomenal. This is the same thing. This is the same player that a lot of us Madrid fans wanted out in the summer. We didn't want him getting any minutes. We were complaining when Carlo kept using him because he wasn't playing that well. Lately, he's been cooking. Chouameni today, very good performance. I remember when we were linked with Rodri in like the summer and people were talking about, yeah, cash in on Chouameni to bring in Rodri. Chouameni's one of the best DMs in the world. Why would I want to replace him with the 30-year-old player that's coming off of an ACL injury? It makes no sense. So, look, I got to give also Pep Ancelotti a lot of credit. I think that he outcoached Pep. One thing that a lot of Madrid fans been criticizing Carlo for is there's no tactics. It's just individual brilliance, right? Like the players do whatever, they line up wherever. Throughout the flow of the game, sometimes you'll see Mbappe, Vinicius, and Rodrigo all on the left wing, right? There's no instructions going on. But today, I do believe that we did have a game plan, right? You let City hold the ball a little bit, and then the long ball over the top, they couldn't contain it. Mbappe, unplayable, hat trick. I think that Rodrigo was good today as well. Vinicius wasn't the best, but I thought that he had a solid performance. Same thing with Jude. It was a great performance, bro. An amazing performance. But it's crazy that I had to beat Man City to now face either Bayer Leverkusen or Atleti in the round of 16. It's actually weird saying it like that, but look, it was an amazing performance today. Literally the best performance that we had all season so far.
But here's the thing, Will. You know this because you're a Madrid fan. You watch your team every week. The way you guys play in the Champions League is always different from the way you guys play in the league. You guys are more comfortable in the Champions League, right? That's why, let's be real, right? For the past 10 years, you've won more Champions Leagues than you've won league titles, right? Because in the Champions League, in the big nights in Europe, you guys really it's like a different team. Because I'm going to be honest, I watched the game, the Osasuna game. You're right. You guys missed a lot of good chances in that game. You're very wasteful in that game. You were wasteful against Espanyol. You were wasteful against Atleti. But you saw today how
you know the only team that can stop Madrid? Your team. I need Barcelona. I need Barcelona to draw Real Madrid. Real Madrid will slap everyone in Europe, not called FC Barcelona. If they draw Barcelona, Will knows this as well. Will knows this as well. They have I don't know what it is. As soon as they play Barcelona, they just
shit.
Next time they just start Barcelona.
It genuinely makes no sense. I don't think there's a football explanation for it. It's the same thing with us and Madrid. It's the same thing.
No. You see, here's the thing. Will Will can do the coping mechanism all he wants. I've said this before. No, let me be clear. When it comes to Barca and Real Madrid, it's a different kind. Like that's different, right? Form, performances, all of that goes out of the window. And you mentioned it, Husam. You're right. At the end of the day, I know that when we play Real Madrid can beat us. Of course, whether it's home or away. I am never going into any game playing Real Madrid, whether I'm a home or away, where I'm thinking, yeah, it's in the bag. I don't care what form they're in. And the same thing applies with us. If we could be in the worst form in the league, guess what? When Real Madrid come into town, it's a different kind of game. So at the end of the day, it is a good point. Like if there's anyone, yes, that can beat Real Madrid, absolutely it's us. But also, just like they can beat us, we can we can beat them. They can beat us as well.
Yeah.
It's never as straightforward as it seems. Even if form is telling us it should be straightforward. You understand what I'm saying?
Great.
When it comes to Real Madrid and in Europe, I've said this before. When they had a slow start in the Champions League, I told people, I said, listen. The only way Real Madrid are getting knocked out of the Champions League is if they get knocked out completely. Because if they have a chance to still be
that makes
in it,
no sense.
I mean like getting like completely out of 24 teams.
You mean you go?
You know how
I
said the only way they don't win the Champions League if they. But that's what I said. That's what I was trying to say, right? Completely out of the top 24. That's how you count out Real Madrid. They're out of the Champions League completely because as long as they're still in it. Right, even if they don't finish in the top 20, top 8,
but I don't think anybody
they can still get out of 32 and still go on to win the Champions League.
But I don't think that anybody would disagree with you, right? Like,
no, and that's the thing. I know you're not disagreeing with me. I'm just saying because there's a lot of people who are counting out Madrid when you guys were losing to teams like AC Milan.
Yeah, I hear that,
and that's my point. So results like that make people think, oh yeah, this Madrid team is vulnerable this season. Yeah. There's something different about them this season. No, Madrid always show vulnerability in the start of the Champions League, but they turn it up when the elimination rounds comes around. That's why I was like, yo,
yeah.
And you saw today, like I saw how clinical they were today, Terry. I was like, yo, we will attest to this. This is what he's been calling for the past few games in La Liga. This team was clinical. Like their first chance of the game, they scored. Second chance, they scored.
Yeah.
Third chance, Mbappe hat-trick just like that. He could have had a fourth today.
They've got gunmen, and when you got gunmen, that's doable. I'm going to jump to these super chats here. First one says, if Liverpool bottle the league, then Sterling will be a Premier League champion with Arsenal. This would be epic. That would really hurt Liverpool. Van Dijk said, credit to Arsenal after the game instead of Villa. Oh, that's funny. Barca played a high line and beat them 5-2 and 4-0. Okay, Abdul. I'm going to assume your back line has more pace in it than City's tonight. Would I be right in guessing that?
Yeah.
Well, there we go, Abdul. I don't get your point. I'm talking about City's line being high and their centre-backs being average pace at best against Kylian Mbappe. Come on now, my friend. That's
and Barcelona have got a younger midfield, isn't it? More younger.
Yeah, more legs. Mo always says, poop, pass back. I was talking about Pep's team. Not many things out there would make me happier than seeing Liverpool fans crying because they bottled it, but not to Arsenal, please. I beg, is what Bear
I was about to say, Bear, you're a Chelsea fan. You know, the last thing you should want is us bottling it. Be careful.
Nunez walking out when the team applauded the fans. Shame is what RJ
I need them to walk out all the way to the airport and fuck off. That's what I need.
Husam, would you do a Rasmus Højlund swap for Nunez?
I would do a Terry Fluger swap for Nunez.
Yeah, I'm better than Nunez, to be fair. Even with my gout, I'm better than him, bruv. Only gout is painful. I'm getting old, man. And it's because I tried being healthy. Started eating more red meat and more fish, and I got gout. Fucking piss-taking bastard body. There was a lack of fight from City. That was alarming for a team that has achieved so much. It was crazy to see. Yeah, and it's hard. The one thing I would say, it's hard to switch it on and off. You've got to keep going. You've got to keep fighting. They slag off the format because we've already done that one. Thank you very much there.
Not everything is about Arsenal. They don't slag out the format because of Arsenal. They slag it out because it's a lot of games, more fixtures. You're not in Europe. No one knows you. I promise you. So stop it.
I was like, who's Arsenal in Europe? Nothing.
We want to see Bayern, and Real Madrid. Yeah, I'd love to see those two derbies in the next round. That would be class. That would be brilliant to see both those derbies. Or not derby. I don't know. Bayern and Bayern's not a derby, but I don't know if it's a derby. I
They're
don't.
the two best teams in
can't be.
Bundesliga.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
prefer like Leverkusen as well, especially because Xabi's supposed to be the next manager. So
yeah, I hear that. I want to say a big thank you to everybody that's tuned in. This is going to redirect you where, Husam?
To El Ahwa.
El Awa. So get
Yes.
yourselves over there. Go and support my brother Husam on his show. We're back tomorrow with Fan Channel Review. Got a big VAR show in the afternoon, plus top 6 in the evening as well. Big shout out to our title sponsor, Stocks FC. Go and claim your free stocks now. It's the best fantasy football game that you can play because you own the player stocks as opposed
Didn't
to...
you buy Rashford stocks, I swear?
Yeah, I made profit on them though, bro. I bought them when they were really low last year and they jumped up to like a pound and then I sold them and it dropped. And I did it again before he left Man United. It dropped down to like 20 odd pence. I rebought them again. So I do a bit of flipping on there. I do a bit of flipping on there to make a little bit of pocket change. You know what I mean? For the kids.
Fair enough.
It's a great little app. It's great. I play it for the fantasy and the reward points. But yeah, once you learn how to do it on stocks, you can essentially you learn. Oh, okay. It's like, for instance, I didn't buy Ahmad when he came out. Now the injuries happened. It's actually worked out better for me because his value's dropped even more. And then it'll drop down to about 60p. Then I'll buy him. And once he's back fit, it'll jump straight up to like £1, £1.20, and I'll sell him. There you go. Just flip it.
Fair enough.
Make a little bit of pocket change. It's all right. What's it? Terry has a grudge against Barca. You have heard it. What?
You can hear it in his voice.
By me saying that they have faster centre backs than City. That says that I have a grudge against Barca. That's the weirdest. That's the strange. That's just bro. Go to sleep.
Yeah, go to sleep. Saying stupid things. Go to sleep.
Consensually touch a boob. Do something, bruv. Do something with your life. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in. Go and support Husam right now. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.